Okay, while I'm explaining this at home, I'm going to write what's on the board. Remember, you have to, when you're solving an inequality, it has an infinite number of solutions. That means they go on forever, infinity. Okay, you have to represent them with number lines. If it eats the letter, usually it's X, but with the letter this way, eats number that way. Now I'm not gonna add a second part, but I'm gonna be checking all my answers. You don't have to check your answers, but just kind of watch what I do in the video. So 10 is greater than X plus 13. Okay, so you make your number line, you put your 0. Okay, so over on this side, what you do, you put a wall on your X side. Okay. Okay, what operations we have over there? Okay, there's no multiplication or division, so we're keeping the sign the same. So just put that sign over there, line it up the same way. Now you just have to take out the plus 13. Positive to 0, you minus it. So when you're adding, subtracting, you just line up your symbol. X is here. 10 minus 13 is negative 3. Now X is by itself. Okay. X is all by itself on that side, so you just transition over here. Keep the X behind the symbol and put negative 3. Okay, I know that's a greater than sign, but does it eat the number or the letter? Looks like it eats a number, so that's this way. You keep the circle open and you go this way. Okay, just copy that down here, please. Okay. Now, I'm going to check my answer. I'm going to pick a number that goes that way. I'm going to pick negative, let's say negative 7. That would be that way. So just negative 3, negative 7. Does it eat the bigger number? Yes, it does. Means I'm good. So that way is the correct way. Okay, next one. Negative 6x less than negative 18. Now, there's no sign between the negative 6 and the x. That's a times. You want to highlight your times with a circle. If it's a negative multiplication number, then you put switch or SW or something. So that means the symbol will switch because eventually we'll have to divide both sides by the negative. Eventually, how about right now? Because there's not a plus number. There's no number being added on that side. So I just go straight into dividing. Now the X is alone on that side of the wall, so bring it here. Then negative 18 divided by negative 6 is 3. Okay, so I'm going to put a 3, circle. You are not going to fill it in, okay, and it would go this way. Okay, now you don't have to do this. Check a number. Let's check 8. So if I put 8 in for X, pretty sure it eats the bigger number, okay? And also, let's say I put like 8 into the original problem. Negative 6.8 less than negative 18. Well, negative 6 times 8 is negative 48. Negative 18 is bigger than negative 48. That checks out too. Either way you cut it. Okay, next problem. We've got X divided by 5 greater than or equal to 6. So X is on this side. Now the operations divide. You want to highlight divide like you do with multiplication. But it's not a negative 5, it's a positive 5, so that's a keep. That's a keeper. We want to keep that sign. Okay, now if I'm dividing, I multiply to get rid of the divided by 5. So 5, 5. So X is alone, it's in front of the symbol, so we come down here, and then 6 times 5 is 30. Circle, fill it in, it eats the variable, it eats the X, look at the board, eats the letter, that would go this way. Now pick a number that way, I mean 50 would be that way. I'll put 50 into the original problem. 50 in for X, divided by 5, greater than or equal to 6. The original problem. Well, that's 10 and it eats 10, so I did it right. Okay, 14 greater than or equal to 3x minus 7. 0. X is on this side. The operations are multiplication and minus, but make it plus negative. Highlight the multiplication part. It's positive, so that's a keep. Keep the sign the same. Now we take out the negative 7 first. Now when you're adding and subtracting, you just line up your symbol straight down. 21. Adding and subtracting doesn't affect the symbol. And then 3 times x. Now divide by 3. Now x is by itself, but it's after the symbol, so we put it after the symbol. Okay, 21 divided by 3 is 7. So 7, circle, fill it. Guys, I know it's a greater than sign, but it eats the number, okay? Eating the number is that way. It means the number's bigger than anything that x is. Okay, now if you want to check your answer, you can let's pick 2. So 14 greater than or equal to 3 times 2. Let's have 2 going for x. I'm just picking a number that way. Plus negative 7. So 3 times, you multiply first, that's 6. And then 6 plus negative 7 is negative 1. Well, 14 is bigger than negative 1, so that's right. I have it the right direction. Okay, last 3. 5x minus 8 plus 2x less than or equal to 13. Okay, now you have 2 different x's. Well, that isn't going to work. They're on the same side, so you combine them with the v. Okay, that means you plus them together. Now when you're combining x's or trying to get it down to just a single x, the sign just is carried down, because that's an adding subtracting move. 5 plus 2 is 7x, and then minus the 8, and now we're ready to roll. So we have times by 7 plus negative 8. We have times, we have multiplication, but it's by a positive, so that's keep. Keep that sign the same. Now, add your 8, because it's negative 8. Remember, adding, subtracting, you just drop everything straight down. The sign, again, adding, subtracting does not affect the symbol. It's multiplication, dividing that can affect the symbol, but not on this one because it's a positive. So we have x in front of the symbol. You need to keep it in front. 21 divided by 7 is 3. Okay. Circle, fill it. Eats a number, that's this way. Okay, 7x minus 6 greater than or equal to 10x plus 18. Okay, look at your x's. You have a 7x and a 10x, but they're on opposite sides, so pick one of them to get rid of. I'll pick the 7, okay? Take that to 0 by subtracting it. Subtract it from 10x. So that would now be a negative 6, and then 3x plus 18. Okay, so the x is on this side, that's okay. Just got to keep the x on this side when we get down here. We have times, and then plus 18. Okay, you have times, but it's by a positive number, so we keep the sign the same. That sign will not be affected if it's multiplied just by a positive. So take out your plus 18. So you have 3 times x over there. Still, negative 8, 6 minus 18 is negative 24. Then we execute our divided. Okay, x is behind the symbol, so you put it behind it. And then negative 24 divided by 3 is negative 8. When you're done with all the operations, you come over here, but you keep the x on the side it's on. So you got negative 8, you circle, you fill it, it eats the number, so it's this way. So I'm going to test a number that way. Okay, I'll pick negative 10. So I have 7x, that means 7 times x, so I'll put negative 10 in for x. Then plus the negative 6, and then the original symbol, and then 10x means 10 times x, so 10 times negative 10, and then plus 18. Okay, so we times first. That's going to be negative 70, and that's going to be negative 100. Then I add. Negative 70 plus negative 6 is negative 76. Negative 100 plus 18 is negative 82, excuse me. Well, negative 76 is bigger than negative 82, so check. Arrow's going in the correct way. Okay, and then the last one, negative 2 times the quantity x plus 5. Quantity means parentheses. Okay, 1x plus negative 5 is less than or equal to 30. So I need to execute the distributive property, meaning the rainbows. Okay, so negative 2, drop your plus. Negative 2 times 1x, negative 2x. Negative 2 times 5 is negative 10. Okay, now we know our operations. So we got times and plus negative. So that times right there is by a negative, so that will be a sign switcher. That's why it's so important you highlight multiplication or division, because if it's negative, it's a switcher. If it's multiply or divide with a positive, it won't be. Okay, so flip the symbol. So plus 10, plus 10. Then you divide by negative 2. And now is where the sign switches. 40 divided by, because remember, from that very first thing we did yesterday and the last thing, divide each side by negative 2, that's negative 20. Okay. Fill it. It eats the letter, so that is this way. Okay. Yeah, I forgot to copy that up here. I forget it on any others or not. No, I think I did. Remember, copy it up there. Try not to forget that. Okay, again, if you want to test your answer, okay, I wouldn't put it into the parentheses part. I'd put it into this part. I'd pick a number that way. Well, you could pick a positive, easier, 3. So negative 2 times 3 plus negative 10, 30. Okay, so times it, negative 6. Negative 6 plus negative 10 is negative 16. Okay, eats a bigger number. That's a check.